The three goats have dominated tennis for the last 20 years. They have won 66 of the last 81 Grand Slams. And today we are discussing their rackets of choice and maybe find out how their rackets contribute to their greatness. Starting with. Guys, let's start with the maestro, the legend known as Roger Federer. He was my hero growing up, and even though I could not copy what he did on the court, I, and I'm sure many of you, admired the way he played the game. And his retirement was as perfect as his career, and no, I did not cry. He played the most brutally attacking game tennis has ever seen, and especially after switching his racket from the Pro Stuff 90 to his current racket in 2014. He switched to the Pro Stuff RF97 Autograph, his racket made by Wilson. And yes, I own one as well. This is the V11, and this racket is not really his actual specs, but very, very close to it. The V11, yeah, it's 2 generations old, but it didn't really change much over the years. I have played with this racket, and now I understand how he can serve, slice, and play aggressively the way he did. What surprised me the most was how much spin he actually can produce with his racket setup. And this racket is perfectly matched to his needs, because the 97 head size really helped him to have a little bit more forgiveness and also more power and spin potential than he had with his Pro Stuff 90. Combine that with his strings from Wilson, the champion's choice, where he uses the Wilson natural gut along with the Luxelon Alu Power Rough, and you get a fantastic combination between feel and control, as well with some spin potential and a little bit more power. It sounds like a fantastic setup, so if you want me to cover that, my Pro Stuff RF97 with his strings, and make a review about it, comment #maestro down below. Now let's continue with Nole. Novak's racket was discussed a little in my last video about the top 8 players in 2023, which you should check out if you have not already, but after that video. But in this video I want to go in a bit more detail. To recap, Novak does not use the Headspeed Pro. He actually uses a very old head liquid metal Radical Pro from 20 years ago, with a lot of lead tape added. The name of this racket is Head PT346.1. In my last video some of you guys mentioned that it is actually a PT113B, and that would be correct till 2018. Because in 2018, because of his elbow injury, he changed to the newer version of that. The difference is very small, although it's the same mold but with a slightly change, and those are mainly 2 changes. Is because it's a 0.1 inch longer and the 18x19 string pattern instead of the 18x20. Djokovic game is the most well-rounded game of the 3, and perfect timing, technique and accuracy, and no real weaknesses. His racket helps him with pinpoint precision while having fantastic feel and control, and is stable like a rock. Amplify that with the strings of Alu Power Rough and Babolat VS Team natural gut, and you get a little bit more power and topspin out of this racket. I would love to play with his actual racket at some point to see how it feels. Lastly, let's talk about the King of Clay. I saw him practice the other day on social media, and it really seems that he can make his return to the Australian Open. I wish him all the best so he can retire in 2024 on his own terms without any injury. His racket is a spin and powerhouse while being very, very stable. He uses a pretty old frame, actually the Aero Pro Drive original from 20 years back. Again, the only thing he changed over the years was the weight he added to this racket. Babolat officially released the racket of Rafa earlier this year, known as the Babolat Pure Aero Rafa Origin, but I had some evidence that he uses slightly different specs. But then no matter the specs you're taking, it is freaking hefty. A swing weight of over 370 and the stiffness of over 70. The 100-inch head size and the 16x19 string pattern combined with his string of choice, the Babolat RPM Blast, make this thing a machine for heavy topspin balls. And now use Rafa's technique and his fast arm, and you really can damage everyone on a clay court and most of the time on a hard court as well. But I would not recommend to copy his racket as it is very heavy, and if you cannot handle the weight, you will damage your arm over time. At the end of the day, it is the racket made for Rafa. Now if you're interested in the review of the Rafa Origin, check out the video here.